fellow YouTuber Quackalo put together a list of the games that he felt would be perfect for the audience of Legendary Tactics. And one of the games he recommended is Caesar. We're going to give you our review here today. Join us at the table here at LT. And we're going to give you a quick little pocket review now of Caesar.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed this game. I thought it was really fun, and it's got some really neat mechanics in it. It took a little bit of puzzling at first, I think, to get your head around. It's not a very complicated game, but just how kind of the mechanic works.
Yes, and you're just trying to figure out the best move. Again, it's not a brain burner, but there's some good decision points there, and I like the way there's a lot of. It's a very smart design for what it is. I think it's a very clever design. I think that the way the different tiles work, the way you have to choose which strength you want to put into which territory, and then you have the Senate ability and all the other abilities actually that just kind of ramp it up a little bit for you.
Yeah, and one thing we should mention too is that there are 2 expansions to it. And I know we did try with the Poison expansion. I think there's another expansion too.
Yeah, there's the Centurions expansion,
which
and
we
there may even
try.
be one after that, actually, to be honest. But
so that's kind of a neat part too, where the game can kind of expand if you want to.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, it's definitely something that could do with some little expansions as well.
Just add new flavors and nuance to it, but it's got a really neat sharp mechanic. It's the heads up. I like the heads up mentality of it.
Yeah.
I really love how when you play a piece, you're playing into 2 different territories, and
yes.
so you really have to kind of like hedge your bets.
Yes, because you can go all in one territory, but then you have to sacrifice somewhere else. But it handles it so elegantly.
Yeah, and I really I'm becoming more appreciative of the importance of the temples. I think that's
or the Senate.
Sorry, the Senates. Yeah. The Senates are I think in future games that's one area you really want to not let your opponent get too far ahead in.
Yeah, but the other bonus tiles they're good enough. They give you enough of an advantage. Maybe the spears are perhaps slightly underpowered, but it's not. It's fine.
And my thought was on the drawing an extra tile is kind of it becomes less important as the game wears on.
Yes, that's true.
So yeah. I think getting an extra tile draw at, like, say, in the last 3 turns, useless.
Yeah. Well, you never know either, because sometimes that extra tile might be of the type that you need to.
That's true.
Because in the game we just finished, I had 3 tiles in hand, and I had 1 of each, so I could cover off any possibility, where if I only had the 2 in hand, then it wouldn't.
Scrolls are fairly useful, I would say.
Yes, to be able to go again. Yeah,
you can
absolutely.
Put together a pretty good little power play with the scroll. So if you can time it right.
Yeah. Now, was there anything you disliked about it?
I guess just maybe some of the making maybe having the rules a little more clear on some of the specifics. Getting my head around the surrounding an enemy piece and then having that one flip.
Yes. Having the control markers line up and kind of pinch the influence marker in between.
Yeah. I found that to be a bit like just a little trickier to get straight in my head. How that worked. So
yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe some clarity around that. But how about yourself? Was there something that you thought?
Yeah. The only thing that I didn't like about it per se, and again, we haven't played a million games of it. We played maybe 4 or so games of it, but what I find is a little bit maybe disappointing is, like, in the especially as you get towards the end game, a lot of the options become kind of unplayable, and you can kind of see where you could play a tile and then your opponent plays and closes it off, gets the bonus, gets the control token, and then it's your go again, and then you play, and then your opponent completes that territory, gets the bonus, and there's nothing you can necessarily do about that.
That's right. Yeah, it's almost inevitable what's going to happen.
Yeah, and
you're very right on that one too.
Yeah, because I found, like, in the very last game we played, like we played a couple of stalling influence tiles or tokens, and then after that, you were behind the 8 ball. The only hope you had was that I didn't have a matching type.
A ship tile, yeah. You
Yeah,
kind of
ship tile or whatever.
and there is some of that too, where you have to kind of just gamble. There's a bit of a gambling aspect of this game
Yeah.
because you did the same kind of thing. You know, you played into an area up in the north where it was you just hoped I didn't have the other tile, but I did. And then
Yes.
I
Yes.
daisy chained a little power play together. So
Yeah.
there's
But
that
it's
luck. The luck
yeah.
component is definitely there.
I think that is a lot easier to avoid in the early game, or it can be, or it's less consequential. But when we're not quite done the game, we're theoretically at the climax, and I'm mathing it out. I'm like, I don't think he can win. You know, it just makes
Yeah.
it takes away from it a little bit. But I mean, for a 10 to 20 minute game, I'm not gonna
Oh, you
really
can't
hold
harp on
that
it too much,
against
yeah.
it. But that was the one thing where I felt like, oh, you know what, that's kind of, I know you can kind of, if you manage to get 2 turns, if you close off territory with a scroll, then maybe you can go again. You can shift the momentum. But
Yeah.
if you can't, then you're just, it's like predetermined ending, and the ending just kind of rides along the rails to the inevitable
As it was, yeah, sort
conclusion.
of preordained to be.
Yeah.
You totally agree. Now, the most compelling game I think you and I played was where we tied for about 3 or 4 different countries.
Oh
or
so we
states,
kept
like
blocking
provinces.
each other for
That was
Senate. Yeah.
really engaging. Like I really liked that. That was one of the best games we played, I think. So
Yes. Yeah.
um,
But that ended again kind of in an anticlimactic
it did,
way.
unfortunately, but I
We
found
ran
it
out of
very,
spaces to play, and it was your turn, so you lost because you
Yeah,
couldn't
that's
play
right.
a token.
And that just kind of left a bit of a sour taste too. I was like, oh, come on, it should have had more to it than that in the end.
Yeah, because we battled it out, and so I think the fact that if it has these little, maybe these are just us being picky as well, but the fact that they have these might be part of the nature of having a simple game. Sometimes a lot of simple games will run into those kind of quirky downsides that come up from time to time.
Sure.
But it's
But
not
overall, a fun little
necessarily.
warm-up game or close down game for the night,
Yeah.
or you know what, even a game with the kids. I think you could sit down
Yeah.
with one of the kids and easily fire a game like this up.
Yeah, and I think this game is enough of a challenge that it engages some more gamer type people like us, but it's also a great introductory game or
And lighter
something.
fare as well. Sure.
Yeah, just lighter fare. So, but it is fun. I will give it that. It is a fun little puzzle, and that's really great. So
What you're looking for, and yeah, I would definitely play it again myself. So
yes, yeah, I would as well. So anyway, thanks for watching our little pocket review here, and we hope you got some value out of it. Thank you so much for watching.
this has been Legendary Tactics.